Nestled in the heart of the Caribbean, where nature's beauty and tranquility converge, there lies a haven of luxury and serenity, where guests rest in the comfort of a hotel whose design pays homage to the indigenous people who practice sustainable development and lived in total harmony with their environment. Welcome to Coyaba Beach Resort, a paradise retreat where the warmth of the sun matches the warmth of the local hospitality of the Grenadian people. In this exclusive feature, we invite you to journey with us as we uncover the allure of Coyaba Beach Resort, a true embodiment of Grenada's spice and essence.
Coyaba, as you know, is a locally owned family-operated hotel. It was established in 1987 by the Sherman family. Andre and Richard Sherman, they both had tourism background. They were both in the hospitality and tourism industry. Richard would have worked for the Greater Board of Tourism. And Andre, basically, he was in management with one of the hotels in Grenada. I think it was Holiday Inn at the time. So he would have managed there for a period of time. And after the revolution, because after the revolution and after the intervention, they come up with the idea, I guess their desire to own their own company or own their own hotel. Since that Andrew was already in that, his passion for hospitality and Richard's passion for marketing, that was a good combination to come together to establish this hotel. And once the doors was opened in '87, his mom, Joy Sherman, and his other brother, Tony Sherman, and that was the executive team. And that was the shareholders, the original shareholders with others at the time. This land was acquired from the government. Basically, it's a leased land. I know it was a challenge getting the land in the beginning, but eventually the Prime Minister at the time was George Breezan, and he was able to authorize the purchase of this land because of I guess you would have seen, it's a locally owned company, family owned, and he saw the need to, I guess, approve it at the time. So he gave the go-ahead, and the soil was turned and construction began. Now, in terms of the design, Coyaba is an Amerindian name. It's an Amerindian name for heaven or place of rest. So if you feel heavenly while you're here, you know you're in paradise, right? The Amerindian name for heaven, the Arakan Carib call it place of rest, and our guests call it home away from home. In terms of the design, if you notice the design, you realize the central area, you have that kind of peak shape, which kind of represent the huts that the Arawak and the Carib used to live in. So that concept came into the design. And even some of the names, so you have Coyaba, and we have our restaurant is Amerindian name. So you have the Kabet, which is the Arawak name for the chief hut, or the chief place where you usually have his meal, right? And then you have the Arakabana, which is where persons dine also, is a restaurant. And we actually on Grandans Beach. Grandans Beach is 2.5 mile stretch. It was a spot that was vacant and available at the time. And it is the best spot on the entire stretch of Grandans Beach. It's a 2 mile stretch beach, but we are almost positioned in the center. And the water is much calmer, much nicer, much serene here. brothers would have looked around. I understand that they would have looked, I think, further down, closer to the airport. But when they came back, I guess the Lord led them here. And they found this spot, and when they were excavating, they would have found artifacts. So I think that's where the name, I'm not sure if the name came before that, but that was one of the reasons why we realized here had significance, because there were artifacts and other indication that the Carib basically, maybe here were the here were the haven or the quarters, yeah? So it's a beautiful location for Coyaba. So we couldn't choose a better spot to let heaven rest in this spot.
And rest comfortably, you may add, on this spot of tremendous significance to the island of Grenada, a spot that is celebrated as part of the island's rich natural landscape, a spot that is critical in maintaining the ecological health of the area, which includes protecting marine life, the beach ecosystem, and a spot that continues to implement sustainable tourism practices. What about accommodation here at Coyaba Beach Resort?
We are an 80-room resort, but when we opened our doors in 1987, we started with 40 rooms. So it was 40 rooms in 87. Because of the success, after 1 year of operation, we had to reinvest and added an extra 30 rooms. So we went to 70 after 1 year of operation, into 70 rooms. Because of also the demand for room stock, and because of course, the success that we were having, we also had to expand and add extra amenities and other things. So we would have started with 1 restaurant, eventually moved to 2 restaurants, we moved to 2 bars. Yeah, and after the hurricane, which came and destroyed everything in 2004, Hurricane Ivan, as you know. We reopened in 2006, February 2006, and we added an extra 10 rooms. So that brought it up to 80 rooms. So we have 2 bars, 2 restaurants, we have a spa, we got a small gym. We have water sports facilities where our guests can have the complimentary use of some of the services there 1 hour each day. We got a tennis court. We have some board games, table tennis, shuffleboard, and other areas like that. So we do have organized tours. We have tour operators, local tour operators that we work with that take the guests on tours, different excursions around the island, different sites of interest. So we can arrange all that here for our guests so that our guests can enjoy the island while they are here.
And that underscores the cultural significance of Coyaba Beach Resort and its location here on Granans Beach. For its proximity to St. George's, the capital of Grenada, makes it a hub for cultural activities and events. The area hosts festivals, markets, and celebrations that showcase Grenadian traditions, arts, and craft. Now, there is something special about the location of Coyaba Beach Resort. The designs of the building and the landscape have all been influenced by the way of life of the indigenous people who lived peacefully and in total harmony with the environment. The grounds remind us of an oasis, a place of sweet rest and relaxation, where the trials of the day calmly fade away.
Coyaba is situated on 5 acres of land, 5.5 acres of property Coyaba is seated on. And if you notice, it's a horseshoe shape, so it embraces the garden. And we have a team of what, 7 gardeners, and they do an amazing job in keeping this place properly manicured. Most of the plants are strategically positioned to give it that effect, that feel, that look, that homely feeling. The guys, they work very hard. They work very hard and they are very passionate about the grounds. At Coyaba, virtually all of our staff are local. Right? We have one foreign, which is our executive chef. He's from India. But all our staff are local. We have approximately 130 staff. So therefore, coming from different families across the island. So you can see basically they are contributing to the economy because, of course, we create employment and the multiplier effect of that employment reaches far and wide. We have the rooms division and we have food and beverage division. So under the rooms division, you have the front office, reservation front office, guest service, housekeeping, maintenance, and gardens. So that come under the rooms division, right? Under the food and beverage division, you have, of course, stores, purchasing and receiving. You have the bars. You have the restaurant, cashiers. You have the kitchen under the food and beverage division. So it's the staff, the grounds, and the location. That's what Coyaba is comprised of.
In the true Coyaba style, the combination presents an oasis, a rest from the trials of the day, as Coyaba offers a space for relaxation, recreation, and leisure like no other. Coyaba's beauty and appeal serve as a promotional tool for Grenada on the international level. Positive experiences by visitors lead to word-of-mouth recommendation, contributing to the country's reputation as a desirable travel destination. What about its guests? Who are those who come and enjoy the Coyaba's hospitality?
65 to 69% of our guests come from the UK. So the UK is a main wholesaler for Coyaba. Our clientele are mostly seniors between the age range between the majority of our clientele is above 50. Above 50. Yeah. Right? I guess they have the disposable income. And then after that, follow behind that is the US. The US is about 20%, 18 to 20% virtually, and then we have the Caribbean, the region. We are supported strongly by the region, both for leisure and business, and then of course the rest of the world. Let me tell you the main reason why guests come back to Coyaba. The main reason is the fantastic team of staff that we have here. Coyaba's success is attributed to our employees, our hard-working, dedicated, loyal employees. Most of our employees are long-serving, and we have been here a long time. The guests will tell you always is the staff. That's the testimony, the friendliness, the warmth, the attentiveness of the staff, the care that is given. And then again, as I said, it is in alignment with our vision and our theme in terms of creating that personalized effect. Some of them says that they cannot put their hand on it, they cannot exactly explain, but it's a karma, it's a spirit, it's a feeling that they get. And I have come across guests that said that they don't usually go to the same island twice, or visit the same place more than once. And after the first day of settling down in Coyaba, they will tell you that they're thinking about coming back. And of course, I will ask the question, why? because you're only here for one day, 24 hours. And it's the same thing, it's a feel that it gets. So I think it's heaven after all. So I don't know if it's the Amerindian spirit or, or angels that is wrong, but it's a feeling that they get, and they feel cared for, they feel you know, taken care of. So they feel that kind of thing, and that is what resonates with them, that causes them to keep coming back. We have guests that have been coming almost 20 times in 20 years, every year, sometimes twice a year. But that is one of the most effective area of marketing for us, because sometimes, I mean, the guest reputation is built guest by guest. Coyaba reputation is built guest by guest. And so the guests basically do a large portion of marketing for us because of how they feel when they get here. And of course, they promote that with their loved ones and others. But besides that, we have strategic marketing that we partner with a lot of the wholesalers out in Europe, the UK, the US, North America, a lot of the travel agents, the online booking, the booking engines online. And of course, for the Caribbean, now we do a lot of partnership with Trinidad, the travel agents and the tour operator in Trinidad, and also other parts of the Caribbean. So even in the slow season, what we call the slow season from April to December, you will find that Coyaba still enjoy a fairly good occupancy of averaging sometimes 60 to 70%. We have been awarded, yes, I think from locally, but also we got a lot of recognition from the wholesalers outside there, because remember, they're sending the guests here, and of course the guests will go back and testify of the experience that they would have had. So of course, when they're doing the survey, and we awarded by a number of agents outside there.
Evidently, the hospitality, Coyaba style, is noted and celebrated the world over. We could not overemphasize the significant contribution that Coyaba Beach Resort makes to the Grenadian economy. It generates revenue from accommodations, restaurant, water sports, souvenir shops, and related businesses. This economic activity provides job opportunities and stimulates local businesses.
All Coyaba vegetables, fruits and vegetables, come locally. We support all our farmers, and sometimes even because of all the demand, sometimes the farmers don't even have enough to supply. So that tells you that we support local. We even partner with some of the local farmers that can supply us with certain fruits and veg throughout, year-round. Because as you know, we at Coyaba, we enjoy an average annual occupancy about 79 to 80%. And we have a repeat ratio of 45% annually. And that's because, again, it's because of who we are as a resort. Our vision is to provide that intimate, personalized service for our guests. And it is in keeping with the family, with the Sherman family. So Coyaba is a reflection of who the family is. Right? The original owners, they have passed. Now you have the daughter of Mr. Andre Sherman. She's now the managing director, that's Danica Sherman. So, and she replicates his heart, his passion, his drive. So you can see that the legacy continues, and the guests feel that effect when they get here. For us as a hotel, what matters most? Service, service, service. Customer service, our passion to take care of the guests. And while we manage costs and navigate through the storm, but we did not drop the service that we deliver. And we did not stray from our vision, and that kept us. And that's what brought us through the recession. That's what brought us through the pandemic. So Grenada went through a lot of different transition, and this hotel also went through a major part of it also.
And history has shown that the resilience of the Grenadian people has been displayed for centuries. Now, what about the COVID-19 pandemic? How did Coyaba cope?
During the COVID, we were open. We didn't close our doors. I remember a few of our guests got stranded at the hotel. The majority of guests would have moved out but there were some who were not affiliated with tour operators. So they had us to get their own flight. And because the flight attendant was not coming back to Grenada, they got stranded with about 6 rooms. So of course, we can't throw them out. So that's because of our commitment to our guests. You can't throw family in times of trouble. You can't put out the family in times of trouble. So we were able to, well, of course, all the staff went home, but we were able to scale down a team of staff, management included, because of we brought staff to stay in just to take care of the guests until most of the guests, they spent about 3 to 4 months before they were able to fly out. And then we remained open because for us, we were anticipating an expiration date to that sooner than later, but it lasted longer than we anticipated. But we kept there, we kept the strain, and what we did, we came up with the most amount of creative measures to survive. As I said, is in adversity, sometimes your creativity emerge. So we were able to come up with all strategy and at the same time to keep some of our staff motivated or to keep the staff moral because nobody knew when they were coming back. But we were able to create events, like for instance, we had shows, we will have events, you know, at different time just to bring the staff back, even though it's for a day or for a night, so that they can keep that hope. Keep that hope alive, and we were able to navigate it and survive. And once the pandemic subsided and we reopened back again, well, not reopened, but we continued normal operation. After 1 year, we were back to pre-COVID levels in terms of occupancy. Coyaba has endured over the years. As I said, the passion and the resilience of the management team and the people as a whole. We Grenadians, we are very resilient people. And the loyalty and dedication of our staff. That's what caused Coyaba to continue to exist and continue to survive and continue to be successful. And of course, we attribute everything to God. All help, all our blessing coming from above, right? So, and I guess we have to do that because it's heaven after all. We have to give credit where credit is due.
The importance of Thanksgiving, the spirit of Coyaba. Well, the indigenous people were very peaceful, and they were guided by the light and other forces of nature, and through every situation they rose to the occasion and their triumph. Coyaba Beach Resort sits on land once occupied by the indigenous people of Grenada, and that spirit of resilience and triumph is translated into a place of serenity, rest, and relaxation for the guests who from time to time call this place their home away from home. Coyaba, place of rest, often used metaphorically to imply heaven or paradise. Coyaba Beach Resort on the Granans Beach in Grenada.